bar, there's this, type your name and then have you use Google Classroom. Tracy has used Google Classroom. Excellent. What about Alina? Where are you going to put your name? Have you used Google or haven't you? Jessica is here. Jennifer must be from the 70s or 80s. Someone's testing out the drawing tool. Very nice. If you want to move something, you're going to use the arrow icon on the left-hand side. You can click and drag. La Felicia, I remember you. Were you at Owens once upon a time? All right. So you guys have used Google Classroom.
Once you have answered the question, make sure you leave the document so that others can get in, because I believe you can only have 50 in a Jamboard at a time.
That is absolutely correct. So if Jessica and Alina, Tracy, Angela, if you would go ahead and exit out of this tab. We do have over 75 people in our group. Now, for our teachers, I want you to imagine using Jamboard with your students in order to have conversations, yes, no questions, having them have discussions on Outsiders and Novel, having them practice their blending of letters. So many things that you can do. Let me give you more moments, and then we will continue. Love the honesty of people. We have at least 2 people who have not used Google Classroom yet. And that is quite all right. You are in the perfect spot.
Absolutely the perfect spot. We're going to show you the ins and outs.
And Diana, I love it when people make accidents. I do it all the time. It's why I've been so successful. You have to make what we think are mistakes and accidents in order to learn. So that's fabulous. There's an eraser tool, the second one down if you want to erase that line. All right, I am going to continue with the presentation if that's okay. For those people who have come in or have not gone into the presentation, let me share the presentation link again. It's DS7.
They need access. We haven't made it shareable.
Oh, don't you love that? Perfect. Okay, so let me hit escape and let me fix that. Thank you for the correction. I'm going to share. I am going to change it where it says get a link. And anyone in BCSD, you know what? I'm just going to make it to anyone out there. Don't you love it? See, what did I just say about making mistakes, correct? All right, so let's try this again. Thank you for letting us know. And it's okay if you can't type your name on the iPad. I will tell you that Jamboard has an app. So you technically could be logged into your phone Jamboard and to the one on the computer at the same time. But that's later, so it's okay. It is absolutely okay if you can't get into that right now. We're in the intro. All right, I am to continue. I purposely do not like my entire screen to be in presentation mode. So what I like to do is I like to get into this is a different view. And I'm able to look at I can change tabs, which is what I want to do for myself. Okay. Trying to move some things around if that's okay. All of this is good. All right, so Jamboard is an app that allows you to work collaboratively with your students. I want you to think of Google Slides, but it's easier to manipulate. So word sorts, any type of phonics, click, drag. It's so much easier in this way. Students can work on it individually. I can assign it So they have one Jamboard and they have to do the work, or we can do a collaborative one, just like we did. Now, here are the norms for today. If you could, please unplug and stay present. We have a lot to cover today. Fail forward. We are going to have tons of failing in this next couple of months, and you know that's absolutely fabulous because that means we're going to grow and learn. Conversations, share them in the chat. Nicole and Carrie are monitoring that. Track the speaker. I'm on your computer. I don't see how you are really going to be moving. And what's the last one say? It says safe to learn. All right. Now we have new norms. We're going to go virtual and you're going to want to copy this slide with your students. Muting yourself is important. Only unmute yourself when it's time to ask a question, when we're saying, hey, let's have a conversation. You have the ability to mute all your students at once using Zoom, which is fabulous. I watched my second grade daughter's teacher work with like 16 second graders, and it was absolutely amazing. And muting was until their hands. Use the chat. We have people working it. We have a parking lot. You have questions for the district. I have questions for the district. I want to know things about the schedule. We're not going to talk about that here. And that's mostly because we don't know those answers, but we know your voice is important and we are going to have a parking lot. We will not be letting in new people after 20 minutes. If you get kicked out, our wonderful Carrie is going to let you back in. At the very end, there is a sign out. The last 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to give you a sign out. That is going to work for 1, you will be your attendance that you came so you can get paid. And 2, so that you can give an eval, we read your comments. 6 o'clock tonight, Nicole, Carrie, and I, and the entire team, we're going to go over those evals and we're going to make it better for next week. So show us grace, but be perfectly honest.
Yes, please be honest. It does make a difference in how we change and develop the things that worked and didn't work for you guys, because this is for you, not for us.
So if you have questions about the assessment calendar, school schedules, teacher prep contact time, I have that question. IT, Wi-Fi, what we're going to do is it's going to come later and it's going to go into this parking lot. Now, I'm going to give you the direct link to this document, but if you click right here, it opens the parking lot for all of these. Is it open? And
no, we're looking at something else. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Okay, so this right here, I'm going to give you the link and have it put into the chat right now. And maybe every once in a while, Carrie and Nicole, you can add it. So did you guys notice that I went up to the share button? And when I go to the share button, I can copy the link. And I'm going to go into the chat. And I am going to paste. This is our parking lot. If you would go into the parking lot and ask your questions that we want the district to answer, this is where you go. And every once in a while, Carrie and Nicole will put that into the chat. Make sure if you see anyone else, so I see that Javier is on line 1. I'm not going to type on line 1. I'm going to go to line 2. And I see Tracy, she can go to line 3. And I see Catalina, she can go to line 4. The rule of collaboration is that you never write on the same line as someone else, and you never delete their work. First come, first serve. Let me give you guys a moment if you want to type anything. Oh, we are in the wrong one. This is Alicia and Jerica's.
No wonder. Whoops.
You know what? We're going to go with that because, can I make a mistake and fix it, you guys? Do you guys mind?
We're
All right,
good.
let's try a new. It doesn't matter if you put it, which one you put it in, we're gonna get it. I like modeling mistakes. I don't like making them all the time, I'll be perfectly honest though. So let me try this again. I'm gonna click on share. This is Jennifer and Nicole, not Alicia and Jerica. And if you put your question in the other place, it's okay. I'm going to copy this one and I'm going to put it in. Paloma, I see you have a question and I'm not sure what the answer is right now.
I believe what she's saying is that the video is covering where it says shared, but if you look at if you go into your own document, that shouldn't be a problem for you. You should be able to find the shared button.
All right, let's continue. So we know BCSD has a vision, and even during distance learning, we want to be a model for educational excellence, equity, and innovation. And I truly, honestly believe, having worked with technology for so many years in BCSD, that our district is more prepared for distance learning than any other school in Kern County. Our mission, collaboration. Notice we did our Jamboard. Notice we did our Google Doc. We're going to be collaborating like crazy for the next few months so that no one person has to do all the work. We want to be creative. It's not just get the textbook and put it online. We can start, absolutely. But we want creativity and we want students to not be passive. We want them to be critical learners. So all the core priorities, we're going to be addressing them today. We're going to be collective equity. We're going to be centering on students. We are going to be teaching and learning, and we're going to make sure that we support all learners because they're coming at us from different levels. And before we begin, let's go ahead and test this now. If you can't hear the sound, please let us know immediately and I will see if there's something I need to do.
No sound, Jen.
Good.
No, I'm not hearing anything.
Okay, so you are not hearing anything. Good to know. You are our first class and we're learning this together. All right, so I am sharing I'm gonna try, let's see what we have to do for sound. Share my screen. Advanced share settings. No. You cannot hear me at all when it's playing. Ooh, I found it. Let's try this again.
Reshare screen and click on the box at the bottom left-hand corner.
There we go, we got sound.
Good morning and welcome again to Summer Virtual Institute. Want to welcome you and thank you for being with us today. As we work together this week to learn more about our instructional program for the 2021 school year, I want to focus a few moments of our time together on the importance of technology and integrating technology into our instructional program. Over the course of the next several days, you will spend time learning more about important instructional elements like Google Classroom. This year, all of our teachers will be asked and expected to utilize Google Classroom to support our instructional program. As we launch the school year, the state of California has provided very clear guidance and direction on the importance of monitoring and engaging students this year. We have found that utilizing Google Classroom is going to support us with being able to assign students work, where we as teachers can monitor the completion of assignments, give feedback to students to strengthen their instructional understanding, and overall have our materials organized in one location that can be shared with teachers across our school sites and hopefully across the district. I'm also happy to announce that the district has invested in Zoom accounts, professional Zoom licenses for all of our teachers and staff in BCSD.
Share the screen and click on share
to
computer
have a
sound in the
protected
left-hand
environment where
corner.
we are engaging students in a virtual nature all throughout the course of this school year. It is my hope that our students can return to school and very soon, that up to the end of the first quarter or shortly thereafter, our kids will return to in-person instruction. But I also recognize that elements like Zoom and Google Classroom are going to be with us for the foreseeable future. So I encourage all of you to embrace this new learning, to be willing to learn from each other, to be willing to share with each other, and ultimately, let's make this year the most successful year for ourselves and for our students. Thank you very much for joining us this week. I appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful week of learning.
Jen, can you click on the Zoom icon in the bottom right of your MacBook next to your Chrome?
Okay.
Go ahead and click on your Zoom icon.
Okay, the screen, on my screen?
Yes.
That's not my screen on there.
Who's sharing their screen?
Aurora.
Aurora, can you stop sharing your screen? Aurora, I'm gonna discuss.
I see what happened.
Now, Jen,
Did you
can
guys
share your
hear
screen?
the presentation?
Yeah, Jen, can you share your screen?
Yes.
And then on the bottom left-hand corner, click share computer sound, and then go to Mr. Lukey's video.
All right, do we need to watch it again?
Yeah, it never showed. Yes.
We didn't see anything, yes.
Weird.
Oh,
I saw and watched,
okay.
I heard and watched the whole thing on my end.
I
Because
saw
you were-
and heard the whole thing also.
Okay.
Okay, so what I did is I had the share set up so other people could share their screen at the same time. I had an idea how we could do that, and I have turned that off so only I can share the screen now. Are you
Okay.
guys good? And maybe we can come back to this at the end of the presentation. What did you, in the chat, this is
The
what I
chat
would like.
saying no one saw anything, Jen, so let's just do it again.
Okay,
Yeah.
then let's do it again. Thank you, guys.
Good morning and welcome again to Summer Virtual Institute. I want to welcome you and thank you for being with us today. As we work together this week to learn more about our instructional program for the 2021 school year, I want to focus a few moments of our time together on the importance of technology and integrating technology into our instructional program. Over the course of the next several days, you will spend time learning more about important instructional elements like Google Classroom. This year, all of our teachers will be asked and expected to utilize Google Classroom to support our instructional program. As we launch the school year, the state of California has provided very clear guidance and direction on the importance of monitoring and engaging students this year. We have found that utilizing Google Classroom is going to support us with being able to assign students work, where we as teachers can monitor the completion of assignments, give feedback to students to strengthen their instructional understanding, and overall have our materials organized in one location that can be shared with teachers across our school sites and hopefully across the district. I'm also happy to announce that the district has invested in Zoom accounts, professional Zoom licenses for all of our teachers and staff in BCSD. This will allow us to have a protected environment where we are engaging students in a virtual nature all throughout the course of the school year. It is my hope that our students can return to school and very soon, that up to the end of the first quarter or shortly thereafter, our kids will return to in-person instruction. But I also recognize that elements like Zoom and Google Classroom are going to be with us for the foreseeable future. So I encourage all of you to embrace this new learning, to be willing to learn from each other, to be willing to share with each other, and ultimately, let's make this year the most successful year for ourselves and for our students. Thank you very much for joining us this week. I appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful week of learning.
All right. Do you have any questions or comments or relating to this video? Please put them into the. If it is a district question, go ahead and put that into the parking lot. I'll give you guys about 30 seconds.
I did
Link for
repost
that.
the link to the parking lot.
Excellent questions. Now, to answer questions number 3 and 4, I believe you're going to have a choice between Zoom or Meet. It will be a matter of your preference. All right, let's continue. We will learn how to navigate the BCSD EdTech website and use the resources provided to create a meaningful lesson for our students in the distance learning environment. This is how you know you're successful, when we have created a Google Classroom. So I would love to know if you guys would raise your hand over. If you go into the participants and you find your name where it says more, you should have the ability to raise your hand. Who has access to a computer where they can create a Google Classroom today? Ooh, hands are getting raised.
Numbers going up, going up.
All right, now I got to figure out how I can see the numbers for that. Do you know what the vote is on that?
32, 33, it's just keep going up. 34.
So we have 34 people who have access to a computer. And when we create a Google Classroom, this is the Google Classroom you're going to use with your students. We're not going to waste your time and do a practice classroom. This is the one you get to use. All right.
37.
Excellent. So just to let you know, Zoom, you can poll the audience so that you can engage them. You can ask them questions. They can raise their hand. They can, and we have videos about how to use Zoom. We also have videos on how to use Google Meet. So we will get to that in a moment, which is right now. You ready? I am going to go to a new tab. I'm going to type in go.bcsd.com/DFP. I'm going to hit enter. And I'm at the EdTech Center. Now, one thing that what you're able to do is you can split your screen and put Zoom on one side and your and the website on the other. So let me show you how I did that. This is me full screen. Yes. I can click right where it says restore and it makes it partial. And what I like to do is I push it over to the corner and now I have Zoom on one side and I have the website on the other. So I can see people, which you can't see that I can see you, but I can see you. And I have my website. So let's go ahead and try this. Are you guys ready? Number one, I want you to minimize your Zoom so you can hear me. I want you to go to your Chrome and I want you to go to go.bcsd.com/DFP and hit enter.
I also posted the link in the chat.
Excellent. And I can push my website to one side and have my Zoom on the other. And then I can also resize it if it lets me do that. Oh, I want to go back to Hawaii. That was Hawaii back there. This is our website. Isn't it amazing? This is what we have here. We have grade level lessons. You click down. First, we have TK, kindergarten, all the way up to 8th grade. If you click on 4th grade, you're going to notice you have your SEL, math, ELA, dual immersion. You have example, Google Classrooms. If you go ahead and click over on 7th grade, notice you're going to have your ELA, history, math, PE, and science lessons. I click on the ELA page. I have a Google Classroom that I can sign up in so that I can practice. I can see what it's like. What are some example lessons? And then watch this. Lesson plans. We created lesson plans. A team of 60 classroom teachers spent our summer creating lesson plans with resources so that you have a little bit less stress. I think that's pretty cool. In addition to your lessons that we've created for you, you have EdTech. That's why you're here today. You are pretty much worried. Do you have the skills so that you can teach students while you're on a computer? Now, please, I want to do the hand raising again because I love interaction. Please raise your hand if you took and passed a Google certification level 1. I'm seeing hands. Awesome. Now,
Because we're going to be using this site so often, I do suggest that you favorite it and add it to your bookmark bar. Jen, can you demonstrate how to do that?
absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so let's get back to that Google certification. If you took the Google certification test, you'll actually, and you were part of our Google certification, Google Classroom that some people knew about. We had like 400 people join. You're gonna notice that we've taken those lessons and we have them here. No one wants to watch long videos. The fact that we're doing a 2-hour training is probably a little much, but we have these short videos with directions. And what Nicole just asked about was about bookmarking. So do you see where this says Chrome? I'm going to click on Chrome. And I'm going to have directions, and I believe that we have bookmarking. We have extensions. Ooh, perfect, right here. So I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to go into the chat and I am going to, and there is a link directly with how to bookmark the page. All right, so I'm going to bookmark the page. I'm going to go to, actually, go, everyone, so it's go.bcsd.com/DFP. And to bookmark this, up at the top, Do you see the address? This is what's called the Omnibox. We learned that when we took our Google Level 1 certification. This star means it's more important. And you know what? I can make this shorter. I can call this EdTech Center. Or I can call this BCSD. I can make it short. I want to make sure it's on the bookmarks bar. And I'm going to click on Done. And you're wondering, well, where is it? I'll show you. I'm going to go to a new tab. Here are all my bookmarks. I actually need to clean them up. And here it is. I really need to clean up my bookmarks, it looks like. I can grab and I can move it. And when I click on it, here we go. I'm going to demonstrate that one more time. And you have the directions. They're on our website. I'm going to remove this bookmark right now. All right, can I have someone unmute themselves and maybe you can walk me through it? Because I want to hear your voices. Okay, that's okay, no worries. So here is the address. I am on the DFP website. I click on the star and I can keep this name or I can call it something shorter. I click on Done. Whenever I open a new tab, I will see all my bookmarks. I unfortunately need to clean up my bookmarks, my apologies. I'll do that tonight. And I can move my bookmark to where I need it. So when I click on it, now I can get to the Ed Tech Center. All right, I have a lot of windows open. Here's a really cool trick in Google Chrome. I'm going to do a right click and I am going to close tabs to the right. There we go. Let me pause and look at the chat. And Nicole, is there anything that I need to answer?
Nope. Everything's under control in the chat.
Okay. And then you'll figure out about the links not working for Catherine?
Yeah, well, when we post the links into the chat, they're not clickable.
They're not.
No. So yeah, you do have to highlight it, copy it. You can right click, copy, and then paste it into your Omnibar.
Good to know. So I happen to see that they are clickable and you guys do not. All right. Now, if you want to minimize Zoom, we have directions for Windows computers, Mac, and Chromebook. And these videos will also be on our website. If you go to the website, you will notice that we believe Zoom is a super important skill. So we put this on the big part. So here's Zoom. And we have videos. And those videos should also include how to minimize your Zoom from a PC computer, a Mac, or a Chromebook. And it really has to do with this button up in the top right-hand corner. So you can minimize and do work at the same time. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to stop talking. And what we want you to do is to explore the website. And it looks like we're gonna be in our breakout rooms. Carrie, do you know how to send people to breakout rooms? Will you do that for us?
I will try.
Okay, so this is what we want you to do. Up in the top, if you're in full Zoom, you have the ability, I think if you press escape, that helps. And you want to be able to get into Chrome. And what we want you to do is to go to go.bcsd.com DFP, and we want you to explore it. We want you to go through lessons. We want you to go through the EdTech guides and tutorials. We want you to take your physical notebook like I have right here, and we want you to take notes so that you can talk about them in your breakout room. Are you guys ready to do that? All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And we would like you to go ahead and go to the Ed Tech Center. 10 minutes.
And there's a lot of frustration in understanding what exactly the expectation was that we were asking them to do on the website currently.
Okay, so the directions were to go to the page and look at what is available. And some of the things that are available, if we go to EdTech guides and tutorials, we have Google Apps. We also have lessons on Achieve 3000, how to use Myon, and for our teachers who teach 6th to 8th grade, you can sync with Google Classroom. I learned how to do that last week, and we have the videos that can show you how. What other questions are there, Nicole?
There was a question about Zoom and whether or not they need to send invites to Zoom meetings individually, or if they're able to do it by period by doing it in a whole group.
Okay, so here is a suggestion of what you can do. I am going to go into Google Classroom. If you choose to use Zoom, which you're beginning teachers with technology, I'm thinking Zoom might be the easiest. What you can do is to share your Zoom link. You could share it with, make one, they said per class. So if you're saying per class, probably a 7th or 8th grade teacher, you could create a Zoom for each period, and you can add the link in Google Classroom in the announcements. See where it says launch Zoom.
And if you didn't sign up for other technology or other sessions, I don't think there's room in expanding actually, but we will be posting the videos for you to look at. They're going to show you in expanding how to post the permanent link to Zoom calls.
And this right here, this is just an assignment. This is here. You have daily Zoom meeting. I have my message to my students, and then all I did is I clicked on link and I added it. And here's the best part. Do you see how it doesn't have a topic? I know this is new. I might be jumping the gun right here. Because it doesn't have a topic, it goes at the top of the page, and all my lessons are actually down here. So this is what's called a topic, and here are my lessons. Yes, they have a topic. My Zoom call does not have a topic, and it stays up at the very top. So it makes it easy for students to access it. Do we have any more questions before I continue?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. All right, so instead of the breakout rooms, we'll continue here. So follow the steps outlined in the presentation to help you set up your Google Classroom for August. every time you have a question about how to set up your classroom, let me show you where to go. I'm going to go to go dot, I'm going to keep on repeating it, bcsd.com/DFP. And I'm going to select the Google Classroom Guidebook. What you notice here is that there's a section on how to create a room, what to do in the stream, people, and then what is the difference between Meet versus Zoom, which I think it needs to update. We would like you to create a classroom right now. And when you create your classroom, in August, we're going to connect your student roster from Aries to your classroom. So you absolutely do not have to hand input your students' names, I promise you. So number one is the best option, except we're starting in the summer and we don't want to waste our time, correct? When you are in Aries, this is the home page. You click on the home page, then it's going to have where it says add website. Normally, you're going to just click the create button, and it's going to create your Google Classroom with every one of your students in there. If students are added to your class in Aries, they are added to your Google Classroom. We are going to be doing this during the summer. Now, we'll see if I'm going to try this a little bit differently so you feel a little bit more comfortable. We have a lot of new people here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a new tab, and I'm going to go to classroom.google.com. Up in the top corner, you see a plus sign. This is what it's like in all Google apps. You see a plus, it means add, insert. So we're going to click on plus, and we have two choices. We're going to click create class. And I'm going to call this and you know what? We're going to create this for fall. So put your name. You know what? I'm just going to call it English period 1. And then I'm going to click the create button. Now, the reason why we had a problem earlier on the share was because I was planning for this moment. I want to try something, if it's okay with you. I want to see if I have a volunteer who will share their screen, and then I will walk you through it. So I'm going to look into the chat and see if there's a volunteer who wants to share their screen and have me help them create their Google Classroom. I have Christine Collins who says she'll do it. Tracy, you know, I'm writing your names down. I'm going to come back to you guys. So Christine Collins, and then Tracy, I will call on you in a little while, and Shirley, I'll come to you a little bit later. So you guys ready to try something? Okay.
We have like 25 people raise their hands, so plenty of people.
Because it's boring to listen to me speak.
Yay, participation!
Like, ah. Okay, so I am going to try this again, where I'm going to change my share. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. I'm going to make it so multiple people, now promise me the person I call on is sharing their screen. Let's start with Kristen, because you're the first person I saw. I'm sorry if there are other people. Would you mind sharing your screen, Kristen? Down in the bottom, I see a green button that says share screen. There we go. Excellent. Now, we're not going to start in Aries right now,
Okay.
but let me show you, so you're on the, go back to Aries real quick. Yeah, things are in the way. Don't, so you're on the home button. What's going to happen is everyone see where website on Kristen's screen? That is where you're going to have the ability to create or link a Google Classroom. All right. And that way, one, you don't have to put any student names into your class for like the first time ever. And two, your students' work, their scores they get in Google Classroom can go into your grade book. We are saving you time. All right, Kristen, click on the plus sign, please. The plus sign on to open a new tab. Now, notice that over in the top right, there are these 9 dots. If she clicks on it, she's going to have a Google Classroom option. She's going to click on it. Now, what did I say? What do you, if you're going to add something, what do we do in math? We use a plus sign. Excellent. Now, what do you choose, Kristen? Over on the right-hand side, I want you to click on the plus button.
Okay, I had already created the new classroom. It's right here, but I can create another one because I know I'll have more than one class. So we'll just call it
Example.
DL.
Ooh, yes.
And then
DL, is that for dual immersion? Just checking?
something language.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
It's
I was just
ASD,
curious.
ALD, all of the new alphabet. I don't know what everything is. So here's that, and then there's the classroom code right there.
Excellent. Now we're not going to need to use the code because we're going to connect it to Aries.
Right.
Now, what I would like to do, and I'm going to do this with you, and I'm going to do this with one other person.
Mm-hmm.
So we see stream, classwork, people, and grades at the top, but we also see a settings icon over close to those 9 dots. Would you click on that? Scroll down to where it says general. Now, do you see where it says show condensed notifications?
Mm-hmm.
Recommendation, every single level. Click on that and hide. It will give you a nice clean look. And the we'll show you in the tutorial, many tutorials, why it looks bad otherwise. Go ahead and click save. And then go ahead and stop sharing. And Tracy, to go ahead and click on save. And Tracy, do you want to share your screen? And we will demonstrate this for the 3rd time. And then everybody else can go create their Google Classroom.
Okay.
Thank you, Tracy. So she's already in the Google Classroom. So go ahead and make that full. Ah, you took our certification class.
Yeah,
Now,
I
if I
did.
want to add, how am I going to add a classroom?
So I can just
Click
go to
on-
the plus sign,
Yep,
create a class.
yes. Go ahead, and this is your classroom for fall time.
Oops. It's loading.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
All right, now we see that under the stream, what happens is if you don't change the stream to hide notifications, classwork plus announcements get mixed up and it's really confusing. So would you please go up at the top, click on the settings, and do you remember where it's located?
Yeah, you go to classwork on the stream, hide
Yes.
notifications,
Exactly.
and then save it, right?
Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how about I give you, write down, if somebody can tell me how many minutes do you think this will take for you to create your classroom, in the chat, we'll give you that amount.
Is it okay to stop share?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and share 5 minutes. You guys want 5 minutes to create your classroom, yes? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to come to the DFP website, and here are the directions. For those people who, perfect, let me double check everything here. I'll give you the link to the directions. And then for those people who already have their classrooms, I want you to take it one step further. Go to the Google Classroom Guidebook. And I want you to learn, I want you to study classroom assignments. Does that sound fair? Reasonable? All right. So the directions are here, and you're going to give you 5 minutes to create your classroom. If you finish early, I would like you to start reading the webpage about assignments and learning more about them. Go ahead and begin. All right, so I'm using an extension that's a timer, and it says we have 16 seconds. All right. So to review, you opened a new tab and we went to classroom.google.com. I'm going to click on my shortcut right here. And to add a classroom, I just click on the plus sign. Now, let me show you what it looks like, why we want to do this. This is a 7th grade ELA example website. Do you see where it says upcoming? Anything with a due date will appear here. Notice that we have classwork over here, and you know what, I'm gonna delete this topic. I'm not using that. That way it looks nice and clean. Notice how all the lessons are organized over here. If I click on the settings and I scroll down, I'm going to put it back to the default. And I'm gonna save it. Now, look at my stream. This is confusing. This is confusing for the teacher. It's confusing for students. It looks messy. I have assignments here and I have assignments over in classwork. What I'm gonna do is I want to click on the settings bar, scroll down, and just hide them. Hit save. And it's nice and clean. Let me do one more thing for you. Let me go ahead and take this assignment, and I'm gonna change the due date so you can see why this is actually pretty awesome. I'm gonna make the due date for tomorrow. An assignment with a due date appears on the left-hand side. So, right, you hide those notifications for a nice clean look and use this space so students can communicate. All right, let's go back to the presentation and see what we're working on. All right, next step that we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about Drive. We're going to create a folder in Drive, and we're going to start putting lessons. So how do I do this? I go to a new tab. I click on those 9 dots, and I go to Drive. I want to create a new folder. So I have a plus sign, which is add, yes, new folder. And I'm going to call this virtual lessons. And it's taking a moment, create. Once again, I'm going to a new tab. I want to go to drive.google.com. I'm going to click Drive. I want to add a folder. So I'm going to look for the plus sign. I'm going to click on that plus sign and make a new folder. It's going to take a moment. So virtual lessons 2020 to 2021. Sorry about my phone. Click create. And it is created. Now, earlier we had Angie, Tracy, Julie. Have you volunteered? Would you like to do this with me? I would like to have a volunteer.
I'll volunteer again if you'd like.
Okay. So
Tracy.
go ahead and take over. And if you want to volunteer for the second turn, just put your name in and I'll take the first person's name. So go ahead and share your screen, Tracy. And if you want to unmute yourself, you can talk us through it. How do I create a new folder? That absolutely works. Anytime you see the 9 dots. And she's going to take us into Drive.
Sorry, I didn't unmute myself. I'm sorry, I'm talking. And I'm like, why is she
Not
talking
a
to me?
problem.
It's okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna go to Drive, and then I am going to go to New, right here in
Yes.
the top left-hand corner. And I want to create a new folder, so I'm gonna do this right here. And I already made one for virtual, so I'll just do Virtual Learning 2. And then I just press create.
Exactly.
I should see it right here. I had already, oh, I'm sorry, it was virtual lessons. So here's my first one I created, and here's the one I just created with you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. Okay.
Do we have another volunteer to create a folder? And I would like you to take the time to create a folder because we're going to go to your grade level and we are going to get a lesson and we're going to copy it and put it in the folder. Kristen, I know I saw about the hanging hashtag when I was uploading the information to the website. I do not know what a hanging hashtag is, but I will ask the person who created the lesson to make sure they explain it. So one more volunteer.
Hello, I can do it.
Go for it, Angie.
Okay, the hardest part about this, oh, share screen.
Yes. So we're
Okay.
getting some practice for our students.
And then I go to, what did you say?
After you click share screen, there's one more step. So when you click on share screen, it's this blue, and then you need to click on the word share because you need to give it permission.
Okay, I had already created one, but you go to the waffle, I call them the waffles.
Yes.
And so I'll go there, and it says Google Drive.
Yes.
And then you go to the plus, which says new.
I like your cursor, by the way.
Thank you. And then I'm creating a folder, so I touch the folder and title it Tech Lessons 2021.
All right. Now, since you already have this shared, what we're going to do is I would like you to go back to the go.bcsd, the EdTech Center page. Exactly. What grade level do you teach?
TK.
All right, so let's go to lessons by grade level. And then I want you to go to TK. Let's go to week 1. And let's get an act lesson. So do we scroll down?
What was that? Let's get a what?
You're in week 1, scroll down, we're gonna find a lesson.
Oh, okay.
So scroll down. Perfect. Let's do the kissing hand. Now, what I want you to do is, would you see the link on the bottom where it says read aloud?
Yeah.
Click on it. And I want you to make a copy. Now, unfortunately, we're not consistent across the grade levels, and we're probably gonna need to go back and that. My apologies. But all the lessons are linked. Now, what I want you to do, up at the top, you see the name of the assignment.
Yeah.
Do you see an icon of a folder?
That's
Yep, you click on My Drive. Now, go towards the middle. That's quite all right. Go backwards.
Oh. What did you want me to click on?
All right, there's a folder that's going to appear next to the words "the kissing hand."
This one?
Yes, click on it. And
And then-
find that folder you made. Click on it.
And move.
Yes. And now it's in that folder. Why don't you do it again? Go to another lesson.
Okay.
Up at the top, go back to the Go page, the one on the very corner left. Exactly, let's do letter work. Or another one. Go ahead and make a copy. And then I want you to move it. Takes a moment, and then you see it. Find your folder. Big hint, if you put the number in the front, it will be up at the top in alphabetical order.
What?
You're gonna need to click on, it was under virtual lessons.
Oh.
So go back up.
Oh, here it is.
Yes. And move.
What did you say about the number at the top? What?
If you go back into Google Drive, it's up in like the 4th tab. Nope, up at the top, you're gonna go to actual Google Drive. Not the second, not the 3rd one, but the 4th one. And what's gonna happen?
Nope. It's okay.
Exactly, it's okay. Click on My Drive. You wanna go to My Drive. There you go. Find the folder. I love that you know how to do that. All right, now on the arrow next to 2020, 2021.
Click on it.
Yep, click right there, and you're gonna rename it. And put the number at the front. That will make things faster for you.
What number?
2020, 2021.
Oh, I see. I see.
All right. I hope you guys are enjoying the practice by having you do this on your as examples. We're going a little bit slower, and hopefully you're understanding this a little bit better. Click OK. All right, go ahead and stop sharing, and then I'll continue with the lesson.
How do I do that? Share. Oops. How do I stop sharing? Oh, I see. I see. I see
You
it.
see it? Perfect. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are doing. Number 1, we're going to a new tab. And as I think that was Angie or Kristen who just helped me, sorry, you can go to Google Drive and create a new folder. And that is the plus sign. Highly, highly recommend that you put a number in front of it. I actually put hashtags, and I like to put emojis. Those are a little more higher level. But create, put the number in the front. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to go back to the EdTech Center. I am a 7th grade teacher, so I'm going to 7th grade. Now this one's going to be a little different. I probably need to go back and make some changes. I'm going to go to English. And I'm going to the very first lesson. If you like the force copy, please put that in your eval and we'll go back and make some changes. I am going to go to File, Make a Copy, and I am going to search for where it's located, where I want it to go. I'm using all these arrow buttons. It's in my drive. And I want it to go here. I hit select and OK. I'm going to do this again. And we'll change these to forced copies so it's not so, it should need to be uniform across the board. I open up the lesson. I'm going to go to File, Make a Copy. And when I do, I'm going to make sure that I put it into the Google Drive folder I just created. That might mean a lot of arrows going back or a few arrows. If you like the forced copy, we'll change to that. And I'm making copies of the lessons. I click OK. All right, here are your directions. Go to where your lessons are located on the website. Find a lesson, make a copy of it, and put it into the folder. Once again, go to your level, find a lesson, make a copy of it, and put it into the folder. I'll set a timer for, I'm going to say 5 minutes, but it may take longer. Here's my extension, my 5-minute timer, and start.
Hey, Jen, there are a lot of questions asking if you can walk through how to take the lesson from the website again.
What grade level first? And I
Amy, what grade
realize
level
we
would
do
you like
need
to
to
see?
make, what was that?
I was asking Amy what grade level she'd like to see you do that first. First grade.
First grade. And we are going to make it uniform across the board. Please give us some patience. So first grade. So I'm here on the EdTech
Um,
Center, and I'm
there was
going to
also
first.
another question while you're doing that. If you can show if there's a way to do an entire week rather than just the one lesson at a time. Is that possible or no?
Depending on what grade level it is, yes.
Okay.
All right,
Cool.
so first grade ELA. And I'm going to week 1. Now I have a lot of information up at the top, so I'm going to close some windows out. All right, so this is the opener. I'm going to click on the opener. And in this case, it has a use template. We will meet with the tech team tonight and we will get some uniformity so it's the same across the board. But in this case, I'm going to click use template. It's already copied to my class, my Google Drive, should I say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait up here to find, there's going to be a folder that appears. Here's the folder. And I am going to move it, my 2020-2021 folder, and click move here. Does that, let's do it one more time so you feel comfortable. This is first grade. We will make it clear across the board. I'm going to click on this presentation. This one says make a copy, which let us know if you like make a copy or make a template first. When you get up here, it's really good to organize. So I'm going to wait for the folder to appear. And I am going to select where I want it to go. In this case, I'm just going to put it into this folder and move it here. All right, I'm going to jump to third grade. Bethany Gonzalez was in charge of creating this page. And if I will go to ELA. I love math too, don't get me wrong. And what you're going to see is that there is going to be a link to a folder. You know what? We did it by weeks. So let me go to week 1 first. My apologies. Wherever you see this link, this icon, what's going to happen is if you click on any of this, you can take the entire folder. And here are all your lessons for writing, read aloud, shared writing, grammar, and so on. If you see these icons, you have access to the entire folder. Does that answer the question? All right. Is there any other major questions we need to address, Nicole?
No, I don't think so. You showed how to do a whole week, right?
Yes. So the whole week, you're going to look for these icons, access to the whole folder.
So kindergarten can't be done then?
Say that one more time.
Kindergarten, the whole week? Can we
The whole
copy
week.
that?
Let's see that. Kindergarten,
Yes, please.
and then I'm going first. Some of us were working in isolation while we were creating this, trying to get this ready, because it was a lot of work. We can request that. We'll have our meeting tonight and we'll see what we can do. Link to the entire folder. I'm writing that down for you. Thank you. All right, we have roughly 10 to 15 minutes before we do our attendance. Remember, you are our first presentation, so show us grace and at the same time be clear on what we can do differently, because we're going to be training 1,700 teachers. That's a lot. Okay, next thing. So we have created our Google Classroom. Now we want to do our assignment, correct? So let's go ahead and do a kindergarten assignment. I'm going to do this phonics lesson. I believe I already did, but just in case, I'm going to make a copy of it. I will be looking for helpers. And it looks like Wi-Fi issue. I really don't like the word copy of in the beginning, so I like to move it, delete that. And I'm going to wait for the folder to appear because I want to organize things so I can find them. I might have subfolders, folders within folders. So I click up on here, up on the folder icon. I find the folder I want to use and I move it. Now I'm going into my classroom again. So I click on the waffle, I click on classroom, and I go to my classroom that I created. English period 1. Act like that says kindergarten. Now I am going to go into classwork. Now remember what I said, if I want to add something, I'm going to click on the plus sign. So I click on create, assignment, and I'm going to take a shortcut. I'm going to copy this address right here. I'm going to copy this name. I'm going to make it my name here. Do you see the word add? I'm going to click on add, Google Drive, and because I've recently opened it, it's going to appear. If not, I can just search. So I double click on it. And here's the important part. Do I want my students to have their own? I click on Students Can View, and I make a copy for each student. On this side, I can put a due date. I like to have topics. So in kindergarten, it may be something like this. I'm going to call this day 1, week 1, day, or you know what? I'm just going to say August 17th. Just call it that topic. I hit assign. And I have my assignment. So once again, I go to create, assignment. I put a title. I'm going to add the lesson that was on the EdTech Center. It should be in my recent category, or I'm going to select search and drive. And I'm going to change Students Can View to make a copy for each student. I choose a topic. What we have found in the younger grades up to 2nd grade, your topics might go by day. And when you get into the older grades, we're just going to go week 1, week 2, and so on. Do we have a volunteer who would like to create an assignment? Not seeing volunteers, and that's quite all right. All right, Lucy, you want to give it a try? Okay, so Lucy, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then I would like you to share yours. You click on share screen, and then you need to click on the word share again. All right, just checking on you, Lucy. Did you click on the green button? Yes, you did. Yes. Awesome. And you already have a lesson in front of us. Excellent. Now, can you go to slide 2 for me? I want to see what type of lesson this is. Slide 2. How did he feel? And the students are supposed to do writing. Yes, go to slide 3. And what did you learn? Share your ideas with a class member. What's on slide 4? Watch a video. So the first thing I'm going to figure out is, does the student have to do anything with this? And for this example, we're just going to say yes, because slide 2 is supposed to do some writing or possibly a screencast. All right, would you go to your Google Classroom you created? I think you already have it open in the top left. Aw, kindergarten. All right, so classwork, we want to add classwork. What tab are you going to go to? Excellent, and we want to add something, so we click on the plus sign. And assignment. All right, give this a title. Typically just copy and paste the title. That's in the instructions. You need to put it in title. Yeah, it's in the way. I think you can click and move it. Does it let you? Okay, it's called for pelt fish. Let's go ahead and go back because of time. All right, call it pelt fish. Now we want to add it, so we're going to click on add. And it's, where is it located? Exactly, Google Drive. Click on the assignment, double click on it. Now, if you want students to view it because you're just showing a video or so on, then you leave it where it is. But if you want them to have a copy, go ahead and make a copy for each student. Let's put a topic. Topics are super important. So where it says no topic, click on the down arrow next to the word no topic, right-hand side. Create. Kindergarten, we're going to put, yep, you can do that. You can do it by date and go ahead and assign in the top. Now I'm going to recommend that you do put instructions, and I'm going to show you why for one last thing. Can you go ahead and stop sharing so I can share my screen? Excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, one thing that you're going to notice in our example classrooms, here's an 8th grade example, and you're going to notice that there's lots of writing here. The reason why is because you can invite parents. When I say invite parents, it means parents will receive an email every week. So let me start again. We'll receive an email every week to know what their student is learning. They won't have access to the assignments, but if you invite the person, which in this case is my other email, the parent can decide to receive an email every day or once a week saying, hey, these are the assignments that we did in class this week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we do have more information. If you want to get into the expanded learning, we don't have any more spaces, but we will record those sessions and put the best ones on the website so you can watch that later. All right, Carrie, would you like to take over in a moment and do the final part?